Hey, what's up, everybody? Melissa here. I want to share some things. I took a college class last night. I have signed up for a business degree, and you can find college courses for free online. You can find stuff. So, Back in 2021, I took a class on stocks. It was a paid class that I took for learning about stocks. I took a real estate class, passed, didn't really try that hard. I was actually 2022 in hotels and moving around while I took that real estate class. POS lost my results in 2022 when I got here. So they will not renew, from the people I've talked to, they won't renew my funding to even retake the class. But I will look into that some more. So the real estate market right now is really awful, as we all know. So for now, I'm just sitting on that. I was going to retake the course, and with the way the market is right now, I'm just like, nope, I'm just going to wait. And meanwhile, while I wait, I will be going over my real estate class and honing skills, any gaps I have, anything I need to learn until I'm ready, and then I will take that real estate class. But for now, I'm like, okay, I follow Dave Ramsey. I follow tons of financial people. The last few years, I've done a lot of financial learning, and I'm like, why don't you take that and get a degree with it? So I am starting this nonprofit, and I'm like, it would be great to have a business degree under your name as you do this nonprofit. So as I looked into the nonprofit yesterday, too, there's just a lot to it, a lot more than I thought. So it's going to take a little bit longer for me. But at night now, I started a microeconomics class last night. Very easy, breezed through like seven classes. So it's pretty easy to me. When I was in high school, I just had the basic accounting with Mrs. Gardner, and then her husband, Mr. Gardner, taught geography. So I had that, and learning is usually pretty easy for me. And I graduated early from high school, and I'm like, Melissa, you're pretty smart. I mean, I do have my blonde moments, I do, but I'm like, why don't you just use your brain a little bit more, because you love to learn. And I was raised to be very physical, it's part of me. I cannot sit still for long. I have to go, go, go. It's just, I'm very hyper, very energetic. I get bored extremely easy. Even with my jobs, I usually get them down and then I'm just bored to death. It's like, okay, I need variety. I need to learn more. I need new skills. I get bored extremely easy in jobs. So I'm like, why don't you do this? So that's what I'm going for. I'm going for my business degree. At night, I'm taking the time to study. And, it's smart to do this because the economy is always changing. You want to stay on top of things. You want to gain new skills. You don't want to stay in a job where you're not learning new skills and you're not growing. So today I'm actually going to a place too. There's a couple places I've seen as I've been door dashing of people who help you find work. And even though I'm keeping door dashing with all the ups and downs of it, it's not the most ideal job, especially if you've got vehicle problems. But on top of that side hustle, I'm also looking for other work. So when I had gotten here, I worked for one company and I did some photography, and that was interesting. But don't be afraid to go to these places because they have the people in there who have the connections. So I had gone to another place and they help with your resume. I didn't really, take that help at the time because I was trying to stay on my feet, but I may go back there. I know on Indeed you can pay like $30 and they'll do your resume for you. But I'm like, no, I want something a little more thorough. So I will be contacting them use the resources where they know the connections and the jobs, and be willing to relearn skills all your life. Don't be afraid to be like, okay, I'm older now, and what can I learn as an older person? When you're older, you have much more time to yourself. It is truly a great time in life because, like, for me, I mean, I just finished up with my fifth son. I gave 30 years of my life to motherhood. So, the first 20 was, my childhood and my teen years and dating and trying to find that mate, and then 30 years. And then not only did I mother for 30 years, but I also homeschooled for 30 years. So don't be afraid to continue that too. I will be doing a channel with I have one, but with all the craziness and busyness, I have lost that phone, so I need to get back in there. And I will be getting going my homeschool channel too, to help other parents who want to homeschool. It was one of my greatest joys. I absolutely loved homeschooling. So even though I graduated early, I had a lot of gaps in my education. So I really just loved learning with my kids. And then I thought, why let that go to waste? Do some more channels, more work on that. And then I thought, and why would me, not continue to learn? So it's a lifelong process, learning. You always want to invest in yourself, continue learning. So right now the college is for free, and then I can transfer this to pretty much anywhere. If I want Liberty, if I want, pretty much almost any college, I can transfer what I do get and go for, eventually it will be a master's in my education because I love to learn. I have just I cannot be satisfied when it comes to curiosity. I just absolutely love to learn. And there's also some courses on leadership I plan on taking. And of course, that would be Christian leadership for me. And on it goes. So, ladies, don't worry about motherhood, stopping you from, your so called career or what you want to do in life. They actually will help you because you have to learn. They will actually help you. Children just bless your life in so many ways. They'll help you learn. They help your character development because they're always watching you, so you have to watch what you do. There's just a million things that the benefit of kids do for you, including your body. So I started my other podcast last night too, on Riverside. So I've got to get that going more, and it's called Heal Baby, and it's I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. It's not only just heal yourself, because we see channels out there about women trying to heal themselves from trauma, but it's healing specifically through abortion, coerced, forced abortion, not just your regular abortion either. So with this channel, I talked last night about not only did I heal, but I healed through having my children. If I did not have my children, I don't think I would have healed in the same way. It was actually my firstborn son that had kicked, that had subconsciously, brought out a lot of stuff that had happened, that had been buried. And then to look up the development of babies and be like, okay, so this is the development of children, and to be able to heal in that way too. So it's actually through my babies that I actually healed. So you could join me over there. I'm going to be getting that going some more. And just, motherhood is such a blessing. There's really no loss. I can't really think of any loss, even with I have one son who's gone through it all for like the last 10 years, and I talked to him this morning, and even with the roller coaster of riding things with your kids, it's still worth it. I would never be a mother who says, oh, I regret having my kids. And you may, feel like, oh, okay, I don't want a relationship with them at in an unhealthy situation. I don't want a relationship. So you work at it, right? You don't just say, oh, I give up on you. I have another son over in Washington who's living his life, and I definitely don't support his lifestyle. Definitely don't support, the drugs that he's doing. And I told my kids when they were younger, don't ever do drugs. And then they grow up and they do what they want, right? So, I still don't regret having my kids. I mean, it's kind of like they're going to learn the hard way. They're going to be out there, especially sons, and you hate to see them go through this, but this is where you, as a mom, as a Christian, even when you've done everything you can and you've done a good job, you have to give them over to God. You have to say, I am not meant to carry my children, and I won't. I will not carry them. I'm not meant to do this. I'm not made for this. I'm not made to carry a husband. A husband is supposed to carry his wife. I am not made to carry my children throughout their life. So this is when you hand them over to God and you say, God, they're yours. And through prayer is really where the strength is, especially later on, because you're just like, geez, I hope, oh my goodness, I hope my son doesn't get beaten up. I hope he doesn't get the crap kicked out of him. And we're in a rough place, and you just got to be like, God, they're yours, and if you take them, just take them, please. If you do, gently when you take them. If you take them, just you know don't let anything happen to them. And then you pray, that I pray for my one in Washington who's kind of walked away from God, and I say, whatever you got to do, God, to get him back on track with you, whatever it takes. And then you just sit back and you trust God. So don't ever feel like motherhood has ruined your life. You don't have to let other people control you. And that goes along with my divorce. I'm living my life. I'm not waiting around for, I don't let my husband control me. I don't wait around to see what the judge says. Or Leandro or my husband or anyone. I live my own life. So anyways, so enjoy your later years, enjoy the extra time to take care of you. And even if my husband was still married, still wanting to be married, I would still be taking care of myself. So it's a great time in life because your children are all grown up at about this age. I mean, like I said, mine was extended for 30 years. Most people don't have an empty nest after 30 years. Usually people are done, 20 years. So it's fine though. I absolutely loved having my last one at the age of 35. I had him. And a lot of people told me, oh, that's kind of late to have children. And I was just like, you know what? I'm healthy and I'm fine. And women have children later nowadays. So it was great to have my children, young at what, 20, 22, and then at 35, all the way up, 20, 22, let me see, 20, geez, I have to think back, 24, 26, 32, and 35. So, yeah, I absolutely would have had more in between too if I could have, and I would have had more after if I could have. I absolutely loved being pregnant. Can't say I loved having the birth of my, the birth pains of the children, but I loved home birthing. I loved the whole entire process of learning and child development and all that, and then the child development while raising my kids. So you will not lose anything, and of course this is a pro-life channel. There's no loss with having children, so don't believe those lies out there. It really is, if you have issues with your kids while you're raising them, you really need to get child development under your belt and learn how kids work. I mean, I watched this video the other night. I don't know how I guess I subscribed to this not knowing the darkness that is out there with some of these kids, but this 17-year-old girl, she had killed her grandparents, and I'm like, holy cow. So I mean, I don't know how this girl got to this point, but wow. So when you see kids out there doing that kind of stuff, and of course I'm committing to a detention center now, you just know they need some serious help. And there were people on there who were like, I have the meanest grandparents you would ever imagine, and I would never ever do such a thing. And I grew up in the day where you do not, even if your parents were to hit you, you don't hit back. You don't even think of doing such a thing to your family. So we're living in a day and age, definitely kids uh, are getting, kids are not getting the discipline they need and the correction they need to do such awful things. So, if you got kids, problem kids like that, I mean, you definitely need to get some help, and that goes beyond the normal mothering range. So, yeah, so that's what I got for now. Normal mothering, raising your kids, having plenty of free time later to enjoy your life. Okay, guys, thanks for joining me.